Good morning, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel and welcome to another day of triathlon training. I'm at Berry Hill in Mansfield, so wind the clock back 4 weeks. I was here with the national champion Hannah doing a 5k time trial. Now Hannah can't make it today, but I did commit to doing one every 4 weeks for the next 8 weeks or so. So that's why I'm back. Hannah tells me she is doing hers later on today or in this week. I will hold her to it and give her some stick if she doesn't, but I've traded her in for an older model.
Downgraded.
Yeah, some of you guys might remember Matt. You feature on the channel quite a bit, haven't you, really?
Probably too much.
Yeah, it's probably why numbers have just gone like, whoo. Yeah, so Matt has also been heavily peer pressured into doing some sort of 5k time trial today. How does this fit into your training plan, or has it just been like shoehorned in?
Yeah, shoehorned in. I done way too much running this week already, but you know.
Oh, excuses already. I've not even got a GPS yet, not even warmed up. Matt, what are your plans for today? Are you going for a specific time, or are you going for a feel? What are you?
So I kind of wanted to run a PB because I've just had a big birthday.
Yeah.
So I wanted to
massive birthday.
A big birthday.
Yeah.
So I thought if I could run a PB, despite getting older, I'd be pretty happy. Yeah. Which would mostly be down to probably the expensive trainers I'm wearing.
Oh yeah, very good. What are they? New Balance? Are they fuel cell? Is that the right word?
Yeah, the fuel cell RC. Yeah. But they just released the version 2. Well, it's coming out in July.
Oh, that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I did with my Hoka ones. Bought them, then they released a new one. There you go.
Yeah, okay. The evolving world of trainers.
Right. Are you going to claim a time you're going to aim for, or are you going to keep it under wraps?
If I could just go under 18 today, I'd be happy.
Okay, all right. So, it'd be great if Matt had somebody to lead him round. I will not be able to lead him round. If anything, you should do is starting a lap behind me, so that you can try and catch me, and that's a bit motivating. Let's do that. So yeah, I've got drone today as well, actually. So I'll drop some drone footage in now of us, I don't know, doing the run. Okay, so warm up done, just going to do a few strides and then get cracking. So 4 weeks ago, around 1937, I started off a little bit too strong and sort of faded towards the end, as you do. I'm going to try and flip that around, start off easier and pick it up. And if I can chip a few seconds off, I'll be happy. I haven't really done a huge amount of running since then, but I'm about 1.5 kilos lighter, so I'm hoping that'll translate to like a, what, 4 minutes, do you reckon off? Yeah.
Yeah, 15, 59,
something like that, yeah. So yeah, let's try and get the drone in the air, not crash it, not lose it, and let's get this run done. Oh, okay, run done and dusted. I took that long that the drone battery got low and it flew back home, so I didn't quite get the finish, but it looked pretty much the same as all the other laps, if I'm honest, just slightly sweatier. Matt, how was your run?
Yeah, it's good. First time running the track for a long time, so I didn't really know how to pace it, not done any.
Just left and left, isn't it?
Yeah, just run hard and try and hang on to it, yeah, that's okay.
You flew round. Can we say your time?
Yeah, so I think it was like 17:06, which is a 5k PB, but obviously I want to kind of get 16:59.
That's the thing, is you're always like, oh, I could do a bit better. That's a solid run, 17:06, and I would say, I'm sure you guys will agree, on a track where there's no support, where he's not running with anybody, there's got to be a bit more in the tank. Although he might not have felt like it today, in a race environment, you would have got sub 17, so that's awesome.
Yeah, today's glad I got out of bed.
Yeah, I'm sure in a race environment I would have gone sub 17 as well, but today I just did 19:27, so I took 10 seconds off. I don't actually think that represents any more fitness. I think I just paced it a bit better, so went out a bit easier, and I didn't really have a kick at the end, but I didn't really drop any time. All my laps were between 92 and 94 seconds, I think. So yeah, good to get that done. Good to stay committed to actually saying I'm going to do something and actually following through with it for once. So yeah, just doing a lap.
And you had a big few days as well, to be fair, and loads of like kind of crits and time trials.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks.
It's not easy though, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I'm just like looking for excuses at the end of a long week, and it's been nowhere near as big as your week.
Yeah, I mean when you win a time trial as well, like it's, yeah.
I don't know what that's like. I just win a track 5k one-on-one with you, and that's my glory for the week.
Let's get you a trophy engraved. Anyway, we're not finished yet, so we're going for a bike ride, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Okay, so run done and dusted, parked on somebody's street, and then somebody told us we couldn't park there, so we parked on a different street. I know it's a public road, I wasn't in the mood for an argument. We're out around the outlaw course today, aren't we? So outlaw half Nottingham course. We're not doing the full course, we're not starting at home Cape, we're doing the imported bits, aren't we? So they're exactly, yeah, the south and north loop. And the bits in between should be about 47 miles-ish. Not really anything on the agenda pace-wise, just going around at zone 2 tempo. I'd quite like to ride the twistier bits at closer to race pace. The bits in between I'm not so fussed about, like the long straight roads, there's not really much point. I want to try and get the feel for the flow of the bends. Does that make any sense? Feel for the flow. Let's get the feel for the flow.
Just hoping not to get dropped.
Yeah, and if I do drop Matt, I'll tell him I was taking it dead easy. It was actually, I wasn't. I cannot wait to try and get up Oxton Bank with a 58 tooth chainring. I have gone up to a 28 tooth cassette, So
I'm gonna like put it in the small ring and the 28 just in spin, just for fun, just
exactly. So he'll get his own back on there. So yeah, let's get riding bikes. If you are doing the Outlaw Half Nottingham and you haven't recce'd the course ever, get out there and ride it, because we've just rattled through some potholes, haven't we? Well, I was on the front, I didn't really see them. Well, I saw them, but they didn't look very bad, but rattled through them. My bottle popped off and it smashed the top that's open, so I'll just have to drink that now. And Matt thinks his bars have dropped down a little bit. So things like that on race day, if you drop your race nutrition, or if your bars come loose on race day, it could be race over, couldn't it? So we've got time today to stop and check this sort of thing. But just a mental note, you know, on that corner I've just been on, I'm perhaps going to take a slightly different line so we don't go through those potholes on race day is the idea. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just going to be a spectator on race day, so I'll be fine.
No, on the full, there you come this way. Matt's not doing the half, he's doing the full, but it still uses the same part of the course. So we've done 12 minutes of riding. Good weather though. Okay, so we're 2 hours in, 39.5 miles. We've not really been pressing on, to be honest. It was sketchy to say the least, wasn't it, on the main road? I can't remember what the road's called. You know?
Yeah, all the first North Loop was interesting.
Yeah, basically the terrain is rough. When I rode this a few weeks ago on my road bike, I didn't think it was that bad, but of course the road bike soaked the buzz up a lot better than the TT bike does. This has opened my eyes a bit when I dropped my bottle and smashed it, etc. And it's just been rough all the way around, hasn't it?
Traffic as well in the North Loop didn't help.
Yeah, I'm not riding around this loop again after about 9 AM because it was just stressful. Constant streams of traffic. We're sitting close together, but you know, every 10th car is a close pass, and you just think it's just not worth the risk, is it? So the South Loop though is absolutely lovely. We've hardly seen a car. Yeah, about 5-6 miles to go, and then
yeah, then I'm going to raid the co-op and like refuel.
Yeah, Matt's going to drive back so I can have a sleep. So later. All right, so here we go, the end of another training week. I didn't pick the camera up after that point, but had a great bike ride on that. So let's have a quick look at this week's training. Now, do you know what? It's not really like a massive week in terms of hours, but I've done a fair bit of training stress, and I'm pretty happy with how well-rounded the week is. So let's have a look, shall we? Monday, swim in the morning. I forgot my watch, but it was 64 lengths, so there you go. 12 o'clock steady run, 5 and a bit miles. Then the evening I got out on the TT bike. That was a sort of zone 2 ride, so a real good day's training. Also like 3.5 hours training, 3 hours 45 hours training. That's good. Tuesday, then I had a steady jog at lunchtime because, of course, I don't know if you've heard, but I did a time trial in the evening and I won a club time trial. I'll leave it at the end of this week. I will now stop talking about it, maybe. Wednesday, swim in the morning again. I did 2k, felt really good. Steady run at lunchtime, and then the club ride in the evening. I did get dropped a fair bit on the club ride in the evening, but that's fine. As you can see, I've done a fair bit of training and yeah, a bit of fatigue. Excuse me, I always burp when I'm doing this. So a bit of fatigue from the TT the night before, but yeah, felt okay. Thursday evening, hill intervals with James and Liam. So although I didn't have like a recovery day, you know, going down to only doing one session in the day was like an easier day for me in the week. I had the whole day to sort of sit around and recover, and I didn't go too deep on the hills, so yeah, that was okay. Friday morning, again, nice swims, that was nice. And then in the evening, I went and did Fast Friday with the second group, so that was like a zone 2 tempo. Had a little kick towards the end, but nothing too major. I think I had a 1 minute power season best or whatever, you know, highest of the year so far, something like that. Saturday I did a 15-minute warm up, and then of course the Darley crit. You haven't seen that video, that was yesterday's video. I'm really happy with that actually, the crit and the video, in fact. Really good to get out racing with the lads. So that was a savage half an hour. When you break 60 TSS in 31 minutes, that's pretty heavy. And then talking of pretty heavy, I'll come back to weight in a second. Today I did a little warm up and then a track 5k. You'll see there are two records of this. I'll come on to that another time, but this is the one we want to look at. So my watch was 1929, but it was 1927 as I crossed the line, honest. Yeah, so that was it. Fairly happy with that. And then I got out with Matt on the road afterwards and did a TT bike ride around the Outlaw course, normalised 221 watts, pretty much a zone 2 ride. So that's pretty much a solid week. I'm super happy with that. If you look at the top, that's my weight. So I weigh in on my scales, some Garmin index scales. Had them a few years now actually, and they sync to Training Peaks. So I'll just stand on the scales and go straight in here. I don't have to like put it in or anything. You see, it is generally tracking down. If I go back like a couple of weeks, I'll be over 200 pounds, quite a lot. So I'm down to 197, 198-ish quite consistently. So pretty happy with that. That puts me about 89 and a bit kilos. So going in the right direction. It's not absolutely falling off, but you know, doing all this training, I'm going to be fueled quite a lot of the time. And then quite a lot of the time, if I have a big training day, like I remember especially Wednesday was a big training day. Thursday, I ate a load because I was just like hungry from the day before. So, you know, whatever. I've got 2 runs in there, so minus 20 minutes. So 14 hours and 50 minutes of training, probably about 970 training stress score. But this is what I like. Just under 2 hours of swimming, 9.5 hours of cycling, and then 3 hours and 20 of running. A really well-rounded week, and the first one I've had of those for a long time. I'm not going to promise that's going to continue. I'll probably spend more time on the bike, particularly as I look to do a bit more bike racing in the next few weeks. I might have a look at improving my 1 minute, 2 minute power, that sort of thing. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to start putting all my eggs in the cycle racing basket because I've got a fair few triathlons entered this year, so I need to perhaps focus on those. So yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button down below. I'm just going to go now and watch Line of Duty very shortly, so I hope you're enjoying that if you're watching it as well, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4 PM. Ciao!